So today we had a meeting in Hidalgo with community leaders from different sectors, everything from education to housing authority to medical. And this was an opportunity for them to present concerns, questions, and ideas to make Hidalgo prosperous.
And so they gave you their concerns. Can you give us a wrap up on what those concerns are? Which fields are they concerned about?
Well, I think that first they cleared up a lot of the misinformation that they had heard in the media, and they got clarity on what a budget really looks like from the president and from Congress and some of those differences. I was thankful for the conversation so we could talk about their specific areas of concern and how we might be able to work together when we're looking at appropriations and upcoming budgets and appropriations.
So the Prosperity Task Force, I know some of their members are here, and we've written about them, we've interviewed them, and they, a few months back, were very concerned with the big bills, maybe an omnibus bill or the big, beautiful bill, things like that, because in there maybe line items, but specific budget cuts to their programs. That's what they were telling us. Did they talk about any of that today? Are they concerned that these big federal bills contain cuts to the programs they work on?
So I think what they learned today is that there was misinformation in the media pushing one-sided left agenda, and that was making the president's budget the only budget that is out there in the United States. What we did today was we actually clarified that the president's budget is mandated by law, and it is simply his request for the budget. That is not actually the law. What has to happen is it must go to Congress and go through the reconciliation and appropriations process in order to become the full budget. And so I think they learned a lot about the difference between the president's budget and the Congress's budget and how some of the misinformation has been misleading to them.
So if that president's budget is not the law of the land, and Congress is passing its own version of the budget, have you finished that process? Is your version of the big, beautiful bill, have you passed that into law yet?
Well, the big, beautiful bill is different from the appropriations process. So that's where some of the confusion lies, is that many people may not understand the process of appropriations and bills, passing bills. So the one big, beautiful bill actually passed on July 4th. That was signed into law by the president. Right now in Congress, we are still in the process of passing the appropriations bills. There's 12 of them in total. We've passed about half of them. But as we go into session this next week, what we will be looking at is if we consider a continuing resolution, if we cannot pass the rest of the appropriations budgets for 2026.
So if it's the case that not all of the bills are passed, only maybe half of them by the House or Senate, is there still time for the bills that are still remaining in those bills? Is there an opportunity for you to address some of the concerns you've heard today?
So what will happen is in September, when we go back into session, we will have the opportunity to finish the appropriations process. If we have not finished the appropriations process, then we will have on the House floor a continuing resolution. And what that means is that we will hold the same budget as the last budget that was passed, and until we can go through the appropriations budget and finish the process.
In your wrap-up remarks, you said that you'd like to schedule another visit with Frank Almaraz from
Texas
Workforce Commission, Texas Workforce Solutions, Upper Rio Grande Valley. Why do you feel you need to meet him again? What specifically did he say that piqued your interest?
Well, I felt that he needed more guidance on how the appropriations process worked and what the differences between the federal level and the state level. And I wanted to provide him more clarity, give him the one-on-one attention so that I can meet his needs on a federal level when it comes to workforce, and B, be able to work with him in order to get people in Hidalgo into the workforce.
And then you're also last question, yeah. In your final remarks as well, you talked about transportation, and you were talking about some very big projects you've been able to get funding for. I think you mentioned one in Mission, for example.
Liberty.
Yeah, tell us a bit about those.
So I'm very proud of the funding that I've done when it comes to infrastructure and transportation. We were able to get the McAllen airport $7 million to expand their airport. We've been able to, we chose Commissioner Eli Torres's projects as one of our infrastructure projects when it comes to infrastructure on water or about water. We also did a Liberty Road in Penitas. We gave them money to expand their road. And then in Mission requested monies to help with the loop that will go from Mission up to Edinburgh. And that is also one of the community funded projects that we chose this year. So that too is in the appropriations process, and we would like to see it funded by the end of the year.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, not at all. Thank you so much for your time.